Everyone, Paul here. Today I want to review my top strategy for. Now, this is I'm going to be talking about both futures trading and stock market options trading. I'm going to be talking about the formula that I do for both. It's the same formula that I use for both. I just use it a little bit differently. So I'm going to talk about the formula I use to, trade with, and it gives you some pretty good results. So first, I'm going to talk about the formula I use for future trading, and I'm going to go into the formula that I use for options trading. So for this to work, you basically just need to have moving average. You need to have your moving average set to 9. I'll show you 9, 20, and 55. Those are the EMAs you need. And some other indicators like the Scholastic RSI, which helps out really well. There's some bonus stuff that I'm going to be actually talking about. Some extra stuff. Today I'm really going to go over this formula, but I did find a formula with the Scholastic RSI that actually helps out a lot too. It's another alternative, so I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But it's important to have the Scholastic RSI on there too, as well as your regular relative strength index. So let's just load up and I'll show you the formula that I use to trade with. Okay, first I want to focus on crypto, so let's just do XRP. And to show you that this formula works, real quick before I even begin, let me show you. Okay, so I just want to show you this real quick. I did a XRP trade, a future trade last night. When I set this up before I, went to bed, and I made a total of 28 XRP with a 19%. So I used 19%. So it was a 19% increase. Yeah, so I made a total of 28 XRP which is basically 19%. So that's kind of what I made using the strategy, and I made this overnight. So my personal plan is using XRP and trading it with other cryptos like Bitcoin and things like that. But that is the form that is what I did overnight, and that's how much I made. So with XRP, or not XRP, just the formula that you need to apply the strategy. Like I said, you can either load it up with the moving average exponential. You can click it 3 times, and you can put in 9, 20, and 55, or you could just put in the 3 smooth moving averages, and that kind of condenses it all into one indicator, so it's not cluttering up your screen, and it looks pretty. So it's called the 3SMMA if you want to use that one instead. But you just change it to 9, 20, and 55, and then you go over here and you change your colors. So the 55 I always make more thick because I want it to stand out. And then the other 2, just make it all bright colors, yellow, green, red, blue. Make sure they're bright colors. So the formula is really simple, and you don't want to miss this first step. Now I want to look on the 5-minute. When I trade with crypto, I do the 5-minute. I don't put my entries in till about 5 minutes. So those are my entry points. So what you want to take note of is the 55, and that for me is the purple line here. Take note of when the purple reddish line, the 55, is above everything. When it's above everything, it is a downtrend. So when the 55 is above the 9 and the 9 and the other one, the 9 and the 20, when it's above it, it is a downtrend. When it is below it and the other 2 lines are above the 55, it is a uptrend. And you can see that. Let's just prove a point here. You see that the 55 right here is above the other 2 EMAs. So it is a clear downtrend. So it is a downtrend. So a point of coming in would be around here. Or you could just wait till you actually see it above it. What you want to look for is the cross. So this is an example right here, and this is pretty much the trade I made last night to make those gains. But you see the 55 is above everything, and you see it crossing right here, so that it was an indication for a short. So if you came in here and wrote it out, you would be in profit. So what you want to do is first thing you want to pay attention, and it's real easy lately because everything's been in a downtrend. Very often is it going up, or very often are the other two lines above the 55. But you can see it happening here. 55 is still above it, and you can see it crossing right about here, so that is an indication right here. That is gains right there. Now, what I use the RSI, once I have my entry point in, once I have clearly figured out if we're in an uptrend or downtrend by looking at the 55, once I have my position in, I'll look at the RSI, and once the RSI kisses the yellow line, that's a point in time to get out. Now, the stochastic I'm going to talk about in my next video, but it's important to have look at both of them. So let's just look at a couple other examples here. Okay, so in this example, we can see that the 55 is below the other two EMAs. So what I would look for is the moment that they're crossing, right around here. So it crosses right around here, so this would have been profit too. So this is profit right here. And if you look at your RSI, you'll see that it starts to kiss it right about here, so this would be a good time to get out. So let's look at a couple other examples. So let's see here. We got the cross. Okay, so we see the 55 is above everything, and we see the cross happening right about here. This is kind of tricky because it's not yet above it yet, but if I still see it crossing with the other two EMAs, and it looks like, the 55 is just there to be kind of like a guide, but if you see the 55 if you see everything kind of going down, it's a good indication that it's a downtrend. So right here, even if you get in right here, because the cross happens right here, but you won't really know it's a downtrend until right about here. So make your best judgment, but I probably would have said, hey, everything looks like it's going to go down, it's a downtrend, and look at some of the other indications to make your judgments here. Let's look at one more scenario here. Now, a situation like this, we're kind of in the middle of everything. This could be a sideways point, and I wouldn't get involved with that. It has to clearly be shown as either below. The 55 has to be either below or at the top for me to have an entry point. So here's another example here. The 55 is below everything, but the entry point is right about here. So make your best judgment, but this would be a long for me. I would come in here and I'd write it out, collect the gains in futures. So that is how I do it with my futures trading. That's how I made my gains with the XRP overnight. Now I want to show you how to do this with the stock market. And the formula is simple. It's the same thing, except the only difference that I do, and I am going to be showing you guys some other strategies that I do that help, but it doesn't have to do with the strategy. But with options trading, I only focus on doing it on the hour, because I want to do my trades. I don't want to do it every day with the options. I want to hold my position for 2 or 3 days because I want to make the most out of a trade. And when it's the same thing with this strategy, because you're just basically doing the same thing. You'll make more, in my opinion, you'll make more money if you hold out longer. That's why I do it on the hour. And when you do it on the hour, you have to buy your contracts longer, 2 or 3 days. So if we look at this example, it's the same thing. We see the 55 below everything. We see the cross happening right about here, and we hold out this position right about here on the hour. So this, you have to, in my opinion, to hold out longer. But if I held on to this trade, if we look at the RSI, it kisses it right about here. So you use the EMAs, the 9 and the 20 to see where you get in. You look at your RSI to see where you get out. So if we could see right here, this was, let's go here. Let's do 3 days. So this is 3 days. So if you held a contract out for 3 days, $6 difference in price, that's about $300. So let's just see another scenario. We want to look for the 55 has to be a clear path. So right now the 55 is below everything, so it's a clear uptrend in this situation. So when does it cross? It crosses, kind of hard to tell when it crosses here, but does it cross there? Doesn't look like it. But I think it crosses somewhere around here. But anyway, I'm going to put it in here. This is probably the point. So I would come in right about here. I would do a 395 call at this point. And I'd follow, I really basically look at the RSI and write it out. This is, let's say it's 2 days. Let's just do 2 days here. Okay, so 2 days worth. This is 987. 9.87 times about 50. That's about $500 right there in 2 days. That's not bad at all. So let's do a couple more examples here on why I do the hour. You want to look for a clear spot of. First thing you look at is the 55 and which direction. Is it above everything or is it below everything? So the next thing you want to look for is for the other 2 EMAs to cross, which is right here. So this is my point to come in. Now this is kind of tricky right here because if you look at the RSI, now if you judge it on the RSI here, you would get out about here. But if you look at your EMAs, you'll notice that they're in no way connected or they're not crossing. So you could still keep going. So this is about another 500. So with this strategy, and if you follow it for about 2 days, if you have a contract for 2 days and you focus on the hour and you find the cross and you know the direction, you could probably make around 500 every 2 days, which is what, that's like $250 a day if you find the right spots. At least that's you can do it with one contract. So let me just do this 2 more times, and we'll see. Now we can see the 55 is kind of crossing. The lines are getting below it. So you see that it's spelling out that it's going to be this is going to be a put. So if you get in right about here and you do a put for 411 and you just ride this out, look at your RSI, and we'll see when it kisses it again is right about here. This is a 5 day, so this is a 5 day hold. So you made it $12.50 price difference in price. So $50, that's about $625 in 5 days. So 600 by 5, you made 120, averaging about $125 a day with this strategy. So anyway, let's just look at a couple more, because I kind of want the average person to see this and be like, oh, this really works pretty well here. Okay, here's one right here. The 55 is below everything, and we can see the cross happening right here. So if you came in right here, 393, this would be a 393 call. You come in right here and ride this out till it kisses, which is right about here. This is a 756 in, let's just say 4 days. 756 times 50. 378 in 4 days. 378 in 4 days, that's about $100. So this strategy looks to be around about $100 a day if you can apply it. Let's do one more. Okay, well, the cross happens right here, but it hasn't yet. You got to make your best judgment on this. But you see the cross here, and later the 55 it gives you the indication that it's going to go up. But use your best judgment. And if we came in here, we would do a call for 381. And we would ride this out. We look at the RSI. We would get out right about here. 1081 in 3 days. 1081. That's about 540 in 4 days. Divide that by 4. It's about $135 a day. So this strategy looks like it can generate, not financial advice, but if done properly and do your own research and everything, but it can lead to about $100 a day on average, if done right. But you also have to consider that you're not going to get gains every day. But I personally do it on the hour. But anyway, this strategy works really well. It's what I use. Now, tomorrow I'm probably going over another strategy, and particularly this strategy uses the stochastic. So today's strategy and tomorrow's strategy are what I use, especially for the options trading. And I use this strategy specifically for futures as well. It brings out some pretty good results. But anyway, if you guys like this video, if you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys future videos.